What is up, you guys? It is, of course, I, the Great Scruffles here, and welcome you to my channel. Whether you're new or a returnee, I appreciate you for coming here. So, this is the first time I've ever done this, both making a video of this and looking at the patch notes for the latest season, in this case, Season 11, Escape. So, new content. We have, obviously, the new legend, Ash. A new legend with a familiar face. Ash has overseen the arenas from the shadows and held a tight grip on Pathfinder's heart, a simulacrum made from the woman who once was Dr. Ashley Reed. Ash is determined to eliminate every trace of weakness that held her back as a human, detecting death wherever she goes, spearing enemies with electric snares that lock them in place, tearing through space to take more lives. It would be easy to think that there was nothing human left within that cold steel, but a trace of the human doctor remains, and she poses a greater threat to Ash than any legend in the ring. So there's her passive, Mark for Death. Ash's map shows the location of recent death boxes. She gets a special prompt on the death box. Use it to mark surviving attackers once per box. Tactical arc snare. Throw a spinning snare that damages and tethers the first enemy that gets too close. And then there's her ultimate phase breach. Tear open a one-way portal to a targeted location. This portal stays open for a short time, during which anyone can use it. Then we have the new map, Storm Point. It's a tropical island. This beautiful oasis was once an energy colony for the IMC, and the ruins remain. Many have tried to make a home here. All have failed. A survey of the area revealed the remains of 3 unique settlements built across the centuries, but no survivors. The colony lay abandoned, only visited by the occasional pirate or castaway. Now the mercenary syndicate has plans of their own for Storm Point. So it's a good looking map. It's pretty big, but it's still fairly small at the same time, but also in the sense of big, everything's just a bit more spread out, so that's kind of nice. And it looks like it's a bit more covered, so you don't have a whole bunch of areas where there's just nothing and you're just running for miles before you get to the next location. Battle Royale map rotation. For the Escape update, the map rotation will be back down to 2 maps, Storm Point and World's Edge, with Storm Point being a whole new map. We want to make sure players have plenty of time to master the new arena. Then Arena's map rotation with the introduction of Encore. The Arena's map rotation will now include only the custom-made arena maps and will not be using VR locations for arenas in the Escape update. There's also the new weapon, Car SMG. When you're in a precarious place, you need a dangerous, flexible weapon. Meet the Car SMG. The Combat Advanced Round Submachine Gun is a fully automatic weapon that takes the adaptability to the next level by accepting either light or heavy mags. The car hits hard but handles light. This hybrid weapon's the best of both worlds for when you're ready to take a stand and become the most dangerous thing on the island. Then there's ranked updates. So there's a portion of ranked updates that I heard the way they are changing how you get points, and we'll talk about that in a second. So let's see. Hello Legends, let's take a quick look at how Ranked and Emergence shaped up and review the changes coming in Escape. Ranked continues to attract a large portion of players, around 40% of all playtime. That's actually a pretty big number. That's almost half. This doesn't mean we can't look to make improvements. Fix an issue where expired SkyDrive SkyDrive trails remained accessible for longer than they should have. The trails will now expire intended seasonal cadence, as mentioned originally in the Ranked Series 3 post. Trails from Series 1 and 2 are still grandfathered in. This upsets me, and here's why. I did not know that it was only going to be for those seasons that you're like you get to keep them forever for your SkyDrive trails. So I never really played Ranked, because the way I initially understood Ranked was that it was like super top tier players, and like only those types of people were allowed, number one. And number two is that it wasn't really my style. Okay, so here is the great way Ranked has changed its points. So to expand on the first point, tier differences between the killer and victim will be taken into account when calculating baseline kill point value. For example, if a player kills a diamond player, that kill counts as 12 instead of 10. The way this works is, let's say you're bronze and you're playing with your friends who are gold. That means as you're killing gold players, you're getting a higher amount of points than if you're just playing with bronze players. That also means that your friends are getting their average points, so they're only getting like 10 points a kill. So just to give a little recap to make it as easy to understand as possible, is that the way this is going to work is really low tier players playing against high tier players, they'll get more points to rank up faster. It's basically a change in the way they do skill, because the problem with the previous seasons for ranked was that people would just hide until like third or fourth squad, wait for those last few people to fight, come in, get maybe like 1 or 2 kills and get a bunch of points and just boost to the like platinum lobbies basically. I think that this is a great way that they're doing ranked. The fact that you get more points when you play with high tier friends in high tier lobbies, and your friends who are playing in their normal lobbies might get a couple less points because there might be other teams that have like bronze or whatever lower tier people who are playing with them. Rather than that, they're not necessarily losing too many points because of that. And then as it says here, victims do not lose more or less points when killed in terms of entry cost. Only the killer receives the modifier. After tier differences are taken into account for kill points, a flat per kill bonus is added based on placement. The maximum is 175. Any kill related RP that exceeds that after placement and tier modifiers are added doesn't affect total RP. The final step is to add a flat placement bonus. Ranked Arenas Escape. We learned a lot from the first season of Ranked Arenas and are eager to bring you some improvements. Arenas Ranked now has 2 splits similar to Ranked Battle Royale. Along with each new season and split, there is a soft MMR reset, new placement matches, and new placement matches. New seasons require the usual 10 placement matches, while a new split only requires 5 placement matches. Improvements have been made to matchmaking for finding similarly skilled teammates. Reduce the AP amount gained or lost from MMR differences between teams. The final calculated AP amount for match is a factor of your current AP and MMR. It's also influenced by the MMR differences between teams. In practice, this difference was factoring in more than we wanted, i.e. losing a match you were slightly favored to win was giving a bigger AP loss than desired. So that's good to know. Let's see. Balance changes. Legends. Watson. Improve the reliability and responsiveness of placing Watson's tactical and ultimate in world objects. Watson can place her tactical and ultimate objects on valid surfaces above Watson's eye level to a reasonable extent. Makes sense. General hitbox size increased to compensate for the removal of low profile in the legacy update. So it, to me, doesn't look too different. It's very minimal change. So let's see. Her tactical has been changed quite a bit, it looks like. Increased damage on crossing a fence by 33%, 15 to 20. Increased debuff duration on crossing a fence by 100%, 1.5 to 3 seconds. Increase the time allowance to be hit again by subsequent fence effect by 100%, half to a second. Decrease recharge time by 50%, 30 to 15 seconds. Increase placement range by 50%. Decrease the delay between fences shutting off and reactivating after an ally passes through them by 60%, from 1 to 0.4 seconds. Watson now moves at an unarmed speed while readying and placing fence nodes. Fence nodes can now be placed as soon as the weapon is readied instead of waiting for the animation to finish. Interception Pylon. The pylon output has been significantly reworked. Reduce the number of active pylons Watson can place from 3 to 1. Pylon now lasts forever instead of timing out after 90 seconds. I don't know how I'd feel about that. We'll have to see how it goes. Pylon now has a pool of 250 shields that can be distributed to nearby players instead of effectively infinite shields. Good. Here's what this means. If I understand this 100% correctly, which I might not. So if you have, let's say, if you all have blue shields, that's 3 each, so that's 9. So you do that up to 250 and now it's maxed out instead of basically going forever, because fights with Watsons and her teammates were very annoying because infinite recharge rates. If you left for just long enough, they all had decent shields again. So that really sucked, especially when tacking on the fact that like they're also doing quick healing with meds and shield cells and batteries and stuff. So let's see, increase the pylon shield recharge rate by 150% and smooth regen rate 2 per second to 5 per second. But even though it's faster, now it's not infinite. It only gets 250. When a pylon is out of shields, it'll no longer recharge the player's shields, but it can still zap incoming ordnance. Alright, fair enough. Taking damage while regenerating shields via the pylon delays continued regeneration by 1 second. That is good, because the fact that I've had so many fights with Watsons and her teammates where I would break the shields, almost kill them, have to reload for like half a second, and then a decent chunk of their shields is I mean, it's not like a huge chunk. It's not necessarily like a full node, but like I keep basically having to re-break the same shield over and over again. The UI on the ground and HUD elements now displays the amount of shields that remain in the pylon. That's handy. Pinging a friendly pylon will now display the percentage of shields remaining in the pylon. That's also handy. Pylon Ordnance Zapping has been moderately reworked. Ordnance is now zapped when the pylon detects that it would hit any surface within range and line of sight of the pylon, instead of being zapped as soon as it comes within range. As a part of the changes, current issues where the pylon doesn't reliably zap ordnance, particularly concerning airstrike abilities and ordnance that bounce off surfaces near the pylon, should now be addressed. Weapons and gear. Supply drop rotation. The triple take returns to the floor, and taking the place is the G7 Scout. Scout enters the supply drop with its old friend, the double tap trigger equipped. Triple take now an energy consuming marksman charge. An energy consuming marksman, so now it takes energy ammo instead of sniper ammo. Charge time from 0.8 to 1.1. Mag increased at all tiers. Base 8, white 21, blue 24, purple 27. Ooh. Ammo consumed per shot increased to 3. Makes sense. Ammo required per shot increased to 3. Again, makes sense. Pop-ups, dual shell. Each round loaded into the Mastiff or 30-30 repeater is doubled. So basically, it's the double tap, but for Mastiff and 30-30. Fully kitted rotation, Mastiff, 30-30 repeater, 301, car, longbow. Removed Peacekeeper, Rampage, RE45, flatline, and charge rifle. So for those of you who don't understand, this means gold weapons. Random gold weapons that you can find mostly usually in the hot drop areas. So now, instead of finding the Peacekeeper, Rampage, RE45, Flatline, and Charge Rifle, you will now get the Mastiff, 30-30 Repeater, 301, the Car SMG, or the Longbow. EVA 8 fire rate reduced from 2.1 to 2. With the reduced bolt scaling we've done in previous passes, the EVA 8 is still performing ahead of the shotgun pack. Hitting the base fire rate should help balance out our shotgun roster. Peacekeeper, slightly increased pellet size, choke up time reduced from 1.5 to 1.25. Choked up shots remain tight for slightly longer when exiting ADS. Yeah, at some point it pretty much almost instantly de-choked, which sucked. When the PK came out of the crate, we gave it a big sweep of nerfs to make sure the floor PK wasn't the crate monster we had all grown to know. In this pass, we swung a little hard, so we're giving it a quality of life and usability pass this season. Longbow, damage reduced from 60 to 55. We're walking back a recent buff to the longbow that proved unnecessary. We wanted to give some love due to the all recent marksman updates, but it seems the longbow was just fine. Elstar, reduced barrel effectiveness at all rarity tiers, significantly reduced projectile collision size, and damage reduced from 18 to 17. G7 Scout, damage increased from 34 to 36, double tap added to supply drop G7 Scout. Supply drop weapon rates. Okay, so this is how likely you are to find them depending on the portion of game you're in. Early game, 25 is now 50%. Mid game, 50 to 75%. And late game, you are guaranteed. Hot zone gold loot rates. Increased amount of gold loot that spawns in hot zones. Good, because you pretty much find nothing. Crafting, increased ammo from crafting. Light ammo 20 to 60. Okay, so you can now make a full stack from now on for each one. I won't go through the numbers because that's annoying. Arenas, supply drop will now land outside the first ring if possible and land 10 seconds earlier. Purple weapons now spawn more in earlier rounds. Round 1, 3 blue, 1 purple, plus 2 times blue. What? I don't know what this means. So if anybody knows what these 3 mean, I have no idea. Quality of life, UI. Teammates will now show that they are self-reviving on their in-world game tags. Added VO for players to communicate. They are out of ammo. Updated the arena map rotation images to show up to 5 maps. Bug fixes. Fixed bug for placing Caustic Trap over Seer Ultimate that could result in the ultimate being protected from taking damage. I didn't know that was a thing. Updated Volt Skin's charm placement to be moved up so the charms become more visible. Fixed bug with players losing extra boosted load or extra ammo if the player reloads before getting to base ammo amount. Legends. Retail. Hitting an enemy with all tactical missiles can result in health damage even with shields equipped. Oh, that's both good and bad depending on who you are. Fixed issues where players do not see legends select when starting a game in trios and immediately advance to dropship phase. Audio fixed for cases where music starts playing in the middle of a BR match. UI error that showed that Legendary Prowler had the shotgun tag in the in-game info screen. Audio fixed for cases where VO or map changes doubles up, plays both variants at the same time. Removed the random rock floating in mid-air in World's Edge. I didn't know that was a thing. Glad this is fixed. Bug fix for cases where player could stand up and jump in a knockdown state after an enemy starts finisher and cancels it. Fixed bug where player names would be missing from legend select. Reduced hitbox size for crafting material canisters to better fit its shape. I didn't really notice, honestly. Rampart fixed for cases where Rampart's no mercy finisher causes her to clip through geometry. Watson fixed an issue where her ultimate doesn't always destroy frag grenades when thrown inside the pylon radius. Pathfinder fixed an issue with players being able to create zip lines much farther than intended. Well, that sucks because you can't really do much with his grapple, so that was actually kind of useful to make up for that. Fixed bug with Fuse's ultimate cooldown being the same with or without a gold helmet. Seer removed ability for players to be able to bunny hop at full speed while using passive. Octane improvements to jump pad sound effects. There you have it. There's the Apex Legends Escape patch notes. So we got a new map. You can make more ammo. We got a bunch of bug fixes. We got supply drop rates increased. Supply drop change out with the G7 going in with double tap. We got the new Legend Ash supply drop rotation for weapons and gear. And then we have a hitbox change for Watson. We got the new ranked system. We got a whole lot of stuff that I'm really looking forward to in Season 11. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get notified when new videos go live and when I go live on YouTube. For example, when Season 11 comes out on November 2nd, I will be starting my official ranked grind. I know I've said that before for previous seasons, but this time I'm actually doing it because I legitimately have the motivation to do it, especially now with the ranked tier difference update for kill points and placement points. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.